Hi all, hope I am audible to all of you. I can see many of you have logged in already, and as the session is scheduled at 6:30, what I would request is kindly bear with us for some time till 6:30 so that we can start the session. And in the meanwhile, I can see many people have logged in. I can see Lokesh and Khaja has logged in. Sesiwadhan has logged in. Suresh Reddy has logged in. So many people have logged in. Geeta, Vineet. So many of you have logged in. Kindly bear with us for some time. We will start the session right on dot. Thanks for joining. I also can see one question in the chat by Vineet Jaisal that different roles and difference between physical design engineer and design verification engineer and analog layout engineer. Which one should a fresher enter into? And sir, can we do the VLSI industry work from remote places? Uh, to answer this question, what I would request Vineet is for a detailed answer, you can refer to our first webinar, which is available in the YouTube. The link can be shared to you. That shouldn't be an issue. The second thing is yes, which course is better for a fresher is the question. The second part of the question, anything where you are interested, where you feel that you are confident that you will excel out. You should go for that course. Yeah, every course has its own advantages. So usually people where you are interested and you pursue that course, that is going to help you to deliver better. So I will be sharing you the YouTube access where one of our founders, Mr. Venkat, who is our founder for Chipage, who took the first webinar part in this series, has communicated clearly, and Bhanu will cover a part of it today, who is today's speaker. So we will come back to that as well, Vinit, today. You will get a lot of answers because there are multiple questions in your sentence. So you will have multiple answers as well, and then you can make a right choice there. So, what I feel most of you are from either completing your engineering or have just completed your engineering. Uh, just wanted to know how many of you have completed or still are students, engineering students, among the people who have logged in today. You can answer in the chat box. That would be of a great help. So while I'm seeing the polls, many of you have responded, and I can see 68% of the people are pursuing bachelor's degree, and 5% of people are pursuing master's degree, and fresh graduates are 27. These are the fantastic numbers to have, and I hope I can see few questions also in the chat box. Oh, Sisivardan, you have put it in the chat because I communicated that. Thanks for that. You are also a final year student. So, and Syed Zainul Abdin, probably I have pronounced it right. So, Syed, thanks for responding in the chat box as well. And here, present VLSI sector is in recession. What do we do, sir? Please give some suggestions. Okay. This question, Suresh, I can tell you that the recession for VLSI is not to that extent. The reason being, electronics field is always evolving. And now, with the current situation where a lot of issues are there with China and many companies are migrating to the different countries, and India is one of the favored nations. Lot of activities happening in India as well. People who want to know the progress of VLSI industry in India, there is an organization called IESA. You can always check their website on the latest updates in the VLSI field. So you will be able to understand that a lot of development is happening there. Probably the way in which the developments are happening within next few months, we will also have a shortage of engineers there in the VLSI field. So uh, recession probably might be there for a temporary time, but I'm sure that it wouldn't be there for a long run. So nothing much to worry, because the chip development is something which is a highly evolving thing in the market, and in the coming days, definitely it will have great opportunities for people to start their careers or establish themselves in the career. So the next question that I saw is from Bipul. Bipul, this webinar is for pass out students of 2021. Yes, anybody can attend. The students or freshers, even the working professionals can also attend. There is nothing wrong. But this webinar is specifically designed to ensure that we cater or we communicate how the things are in different segments or different domains of VLSI. Like previously, we have covered for physical design already, and today we are covering design verification. So various domains we are covering, and we have planned few more webinars in the coming days. So the attendance is not restricted to anyone. Anybody can join and get the benefit out of it. And it's a free webinar, so there is no charges included. But and also, I wanted to tell that you also get a participation certificate after the end of this webinar. People who have logged into this. Yeah, Srikanth, I can see that I can see your question there in digital electronics, and how can I start and pursue my career in VLSI design? Yes, probably there are a few things which Bhanu will cover, and there will be one question and answer session in the final stage of this webinar, which will be managed by our our founder, Mr. Venkat. He will be responding to you more aptly on that. Kindly share the major research work going on in the Qualcomm and Intel. These questions you can put it across in the final part, because we are reaching to 6:30, and we need to uh, ensure that the timelines are managed well. And you can also post the questions in the question box rather than the chat box. There is an option that is the third from the top, probably for you, and you can post your questions into that question section. Chat is for general communication. I am working as an assistant professor, Raghavendra Swami, since 2008. Can I change my career to VLSI? Yes, Mr. Raghavendra, you can change it. Yes, but there would be certain challenges that you will have to undergo. That since you come from the training background, one is you will have to get yourself aligned to the industry requirements by taking the proper training. You should get yourself aligned there. Second is, many of the companies usually prefer the fresh passouts, because though you have a good experience, Raghavendra, but the VLSI hands-on work experience is not there. So many of the companies will still treat you as a fresher, but VLSI field itself gives a very fast-paced growth opportunities even compared to the IT. So that shouldn't be the issue. You will get a job, but in terms you look at your salary and other parts, where somewhere probably the companies who prefer the people who have completed their engineering a long time back, around 13, 14 years back, they need to prefer. Only few companies will prefer, and they will give it in the qualifying criteria. So now I have interest in Verilog coding, and can we write the basic codes? How can we? Yeah, probably Nandan, Bhanu will answer few there, and few will be answered by Venkat. And now I can see that we have crossed 6:30, and probably the right time for us to start the session now. So welcome you all. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Prasad Joshi. I lead the operations team for Chipage. I manage sales, marketing, and delivery for Chipage. And that's a brief introduction about me. Now, I can also see that many people are joining quickly now. The number of people attending is quickly growing. Not and In the meantime, what I will do is I will quickly want to ask a few things. Probably our learning coordinator should help us on that. Probably there can be a poll where is your semester exam scheduled in next 2 months? That is something which I wanted to check. Probably if that poll can be executed, we can work it out. Do you have? I can see that people are now participating very quickly. Uh, Thanks, Kunal, for that. And I can see many people have already participated. And I'm waiting for some results, and then quickly we will start in next few minutes, because most of you are students. So just I was curious. Uh, because I believe there are only two options, either yes or no, in next 2 months, in the sense Jan and Feb. So currently I can see that 65% of the people don't have the semester exams in next 2 months. Now it has reduced to 64, and 36 are telling that it is yes. Okay, that's great. So thank you all for participating in the poll. Now we will start today's session, and today's session is on design verification challenges and the career progression on that. And our today's speaker is Mrs. Bhanu Macharla, and she was part of Intel and Cortina Systems in the past, and currently she is working with us as senior technical staff with us, and she has more than 8 years of industry experience, and she will be the key speaker today. And over to you, Bhanu. And people who have posted their questions, we will take their questions in the end. So, Bhanu, over to you. You can start the session, Bhanu.
Thank you, Prasad. Hello, everyone. Good evening. So today's topic that I would be covering for this webinar is the scope of design verification in VLSI Design and the career opportunities that are available for a verification engineer. So we begin with a brief introduction of. So we begin today's webinar with an introduction to design verification in VLSI, the need for the front-end verification, which is nothing but functional verification of the design before we get into synthesizing the design. Then we shall discuss the roles of a verification engineer, like where does a verification engineer come in the whole process of VLSI design. Then we shall cover the skills that are expected by the industry for a verification engineer. The job opportunities that are out there currently for a verification engineer, and then we shall cover the outlines of the courses that we offer at Chipage, which will make you industry ready. Lastly, we'll have a Q&A session like discussed by Prasad. VLSI Design, as you all know, is a short form of Very Large Scale Integrated Design. It's a process of creating an integrated circuit by combining thousands of transistors into a single chip. However, over a period of time, the complexity of these designs increased phenomenally. So much so that now it is millions of transistors that are existing on a single chip. So, like every innovation in the universe, VLSI process also begins with an idea that is conceptualized with a specification that describes the expectations of the chip we want to design. So we can say that specification is a drafted version of our idea, which a design architect looks into and comes up with a proper design for it. A design engineer comes up with the logic and architecture in the form of RTL coding to get the specified results in the design architecture. Design specification, sorry. So the RTL engineer uses Verilog VHDL coding to generate this RTL code. Whenever there is a translation of the data from one form to another, there is always a chance of interpretation errors. And this is where a verification engineer comes into play. A verification engineer takes the RTL code and applies the required stimulus to validate the logic designed by the RTL engineer and verifies it against the specifications. Once he validates this, the design goes for synthesis process and then converts it into a chip. So a lot of people think of verification as a testing role, but it is not. It is actually a role in the design process itself. This is because you have to understand all the intricacies of the design logic and come up with the test benches or test cases that cover every feature functionality that is being designed, and also cover every line of the RTL code that the RTL engineer has written. So we need to come up with a verification plan, test bench design, and then review it with the RTL engineer to make sure that the entire design is being covered. Once we finish the review process, the verification engineer comes up with the coding test bench components and the environment to do the proper verification process. In this process, the verification engineer usually finds the bugs in the code, which will be communicated back to the RTL engineer for a change in the design, or probably we change the test bench components to further investigate the bugs to find out if these bugs are real or if these are the faults of the test bench as such. Once this process is done, then we generate a function and code coverage analysis to make sure that we have covered the entire design specified. Then the verification engineer generates a final functional verification report and thus hands it over to the synthesis process. So in a nutshell, if I have to say, verification ensures that what you have designed performs what it needs to for various combinations of inputs that are being given. And testing makes sure that a set of functions the design needs to perform are being performed. I'll clarify this with an example. If suppose there is an RTL code for an adder is given to you, then testing makes sure that it performs the operation of addition. That is, two numbers are given, and the output is the addition of those numbers. On the other hand, verification means checking the code for various combinations of numbers. That is, checking if these numbers are two positive numbers or two negative numbers or a positive negative numbers, or it is valid for a series of numbers. So let us take a simple example of a 4-to-1 multiplexer, which you probably all have seen in your engineering. Over here, the design specification says that the output needs to be latched to a particular input based on the select lines S0 and S1. So the RTL coder takes this specification, which is here in the form of a truth table, and converts into a block diagram, and later, using the RTL coding techniques, that is using Verilog or VHDL, converts into a code. Here you can see that there is a Verilog code. This is a Verilog code that the RTL engineer generates, wherein you have a case statement that covers all the possible combinations, and the output is latched according to the combination of the input provided. So, to verify this, we need to write a test bench that is as a verification engineer. So this is the test bench, which is basically an environment that instantiates the RTL design. So MUX 4-to-1 MyMUX is the instantiation of the design module. And then we apply the stimulus. So the test bench looks something similar to this. It has a stimulus, which is being given to the design, and then the response of the design module is captured. So verification engineer's part is to develop an infrastructure to verify this MUX RTL code, and then generate an infrastructure with different possible input combinations and apply it to the DUT. DUT is nothing but device under test. And here the DUT is a MUX. So we generate the stimulus, apply it to the DUT, and collect the output response from the DUT. Then we have a scoreboarding, which checks the inputs and the corresponding outputs. Now, in the early 90s, there were no mobile phones. It was only a landline that we used to have. Then once the mobile phones came, there was a need for a small processor within that small device. The first mobile used to be like a brick. It's heavy, and all it could do is make audio calls, something very basic, similar to a landline. But now the same phone can perform hundreds of other operations like video calls, playing games, etc. This increased the complexity of the chip design, and the number of gates have increased, and the features of the chip also have increased. Suppose if you have a single AND gate that has two inputs, then you basically need 4 different patterns of inputs to be checked to verify the design of an AND gate. Because the rule of the thumb is that number of possible input combinations to test an n input device is 2 to the power of n. So a 2 input AND gate will have 4 different combinations of inputs. Similarly, if a Z80 processor is used, then we have 208 register bits with 13 primary inputs, which makes a total of 221 inputs. So the number of combination of inputs that we have is 2 to the power of 221. So even if I generate 1 million instructions per second, it would almost take me 1,000 plus years to simulate all the patterns and check the design for correctness. And This calls for a structured methodology and develop an architecture to verify the flow of the data through various parts of the chip with some degree of abstraction to speed up the process. Otherwise, it takes forever for us to verify the chip. Verification takes up almost 70% of the whole chip designing process because it takes some back and forth going between the design engineer and the verification engineer to identify the bugs and make sure that the design is working according to the design specifications. And with this large number of input gates or inputs, it becomes really complex to perform the verification operation. So we come up with a test bench architecture which simplifies the whole process of verification. So the design architecture or the test bench architecture should be able to generate the random stimulus to be provided or inputted to the DOT, and then capture the responses, check for the correctness of the design, and also measure the progress against the overall verification goal. So if I have to show you a block diagram, it looks something like this, wherein there is a DOT and the stimulus generator generates the different combinations of inputs, and through the interface, we give the stimulus to the DOT and collect the output. Now, there are different levels of verification that are possible. So there is IP verification, subsystem verification, SOC verification. So you might be wondering what an IP verification is. An IP verification is a protocol or set of rules to transfer the data across various blocks. So IP protocol is nothing but a set of rules to transfer the data across the various blocks. So here you can see that there is Ethernet block, USB block, PCI bus, UART. These are all IP blocks. So verifying these blocks comes under IP verification. Then, if you can see this highlighted box, it is a subsystem wherein there is a data transfer happening between different blocks. That is the data being transferred from Ethernet block to the processor and back to some other block. Verification of a subsystem is called subsystem verification. Then there is overall chip design verification, which is basically verifies the entire chip, which includes all the IPs, subsystems on a single platform. Suppose I have data which goes through the Ethernet port and needs to reach a device that is connected to the USB port. Then I write a test case such that the data flows from the Ethernet block to the processor back to the USB block. So verifying this path would need writing some specific test cases. This is called SOC level verification. So in a nutshell, if I have to say, the role of a verification engineer is to understand the design specifications and come up with a verification plan. Verification plan, which the engineer sits with the design engineers and architects to understand the design architecture, which then culminates into forming a plan to verify the design's functionality robustly. The test plan is a roadmap for how we are going to achieve the goal of verification. And then it also involves the developments of UVCs. So a verification engineer also involves in the development of UVCs, which is the environment set up for testing the DOT. And these components include like scoreboarding, monitoring the outputs, driving the input basically to the DUT, etc. The UVCs are actually guidelines or rules set up by the industry to make the test benches reusable. So the test benches developed with these set of rules helps us to verify designs with similar functionalities, not only within the same company, but also across the industry. And hence, thereby increases the reusability and portability of our test benches. The environment also helps us in creating the test scenarios to generate random stimulus to the DOT. We also implement or inject some error into the design to make sure that the design handles these errors appropriately. We also implement the checkers and some directed test cases, and finally generate the coverage reports and regression reports from the simulated test results. Then we generate closure reports that we hand it over to the synthesis process. So designing involves, or a design engineer designs the chip based on the design specifications into a realistic form, while a verification engineer needs lateral thinking process so that he can come up with the test plan to test the design in an effective manner before even getting into the process of synthesis. Now, coming to the most important topic that everybody wants to know, that is the job opportunities. VLSI companies can be broadly classified into product companies, service companies. Product companies are again of two kinds, that is EDA and design companies. So under EDA, there is Synopsys and Cadence, who develop tools that the hardware engineers use to design the chips. And there are design companies like Intel, AMD, etc., which actually are in the industry to manufacture chips. Then there are service companies which provide services to these product companies. So as a verification engineer, you will find opportunities in any of these companies. I hope now you have some clarification regarding as a role of verification engineer. I have actually intentionally not included too much jargon into it so that you can understand the basic role of a verification engineer in the whole design process. So now let's move on to what the various skills needed for becoming a verification engineer. The first thing that we need is a strong fundamentals in digital design. If you want to understand the design specifications and come up with the test plan, then you must have a basic understanding of the logic of each block. Then comes the coding skills, that is Verilog, VHDL, as one needs to understand the RTL code written by the design engineer and also write the test benches. A strong knowledge in system Verilog and UVM helps in developing a good test bench infrastructure and run the tests in effective manner, cover each and every design aspect while verifying the design. Knowledge in the scripting languages is also important because it helps in automating the verification process and creation of coverage reports, etc. Last but not the least, you need to have exposure to the industry standard tools because that helps you in your simulation process. You also need good communication skills because you have to constantly interact with the RTL engineers and communicate the problems that arise or the bugs that have arisen. In this slide here, it shows the list of hardware companies that have opportunities for a verification engineer. So there are several companies. I will just leave the slide for a few seconds for you guys to see. So in order to make the engineers industry ready, we at Chipage offer several courses, and design verification is one such course. The detailed course content of this can be obtained at this link shown here. And this course helps you in understanding the difference between Verilog and System Verilog, covers the concepts of System Verilog like interfaces, OOPS concept, functional coverage, etc. that will enable you to speed up the process of verification. It covers UVM, which is a universal verification methodology, and we will also have some projects based on some bus protocols like AMBA APB, AHB, packet-based protocols, and serial protocols. Our mentors here will give you live sessions and help you enhance your debugging skills, as they are the most essential skills for a verification engineer. We'll have interactive sessions with our mentors. Most importantly, our courses will help you meet the industry requirements. We have lab sessions that will get you hands-on experience of using the industry standard tools like Synopsys VCS, and we shall also conduct few mock interviews during these sessions so that you will be able to handle the interview confidently. So in India, there are over 150 hardware companies, and most of them have opportunities for verification engineers. Earlier, there was one question regarding what are the opportunities or where a VLSI engineer can fit in. Before that, let me just cover how to pursue a career in VLSI design. It could be through campus placements in various MNCs, because hiring is usually done there for intern positions, as well as fresh full-time jobs. It is always good to do masters from from good institutes like IITs, NITs, etc., which will land you in a good job. Campus placements are also done in service companies like HCL, Wipro. And these companies usually give training for around 4 to 6 months before they put you on the job. The training courses that are usually available there are there for a period of 4 to 6 months, and they will help you build a good job profile and land you with a good salary range of 3 to 12 lakhs. So you need to choose the right course as per your interest and choose the right organization or institute for these courses. So if you're someone who likes digital electronics, then you have opportunities based on your interest. So as a beginner, you must be wondering where to start. So apart from just design verification, there are lots of other career paths one can choose from in hardware industry. It is based on the subject interest you have, either digital electronics, analog electronics, CMOS devices, or HDL. If you're somebody who likes digital electronics, then there are opportunities to pursue in the career of physical design, which involves designing the physical layout of the chip from the circuit diagram. If you're somebody who is interested in analog electronics, then this involves analog layout, wherein you draw the floor plan from the circuit diagram. while respecting all the constraints. If you're somebody who likes CMOS devices, then you will have opportunity to do DFT. DFT means design for testing, which involves adding testability features that facilitates a design to be testable after fabrication. But if you're somebody who likes coding, then you can find yourself an opportunity as a RTL engineer or as a design verification engineer. So the slide here briefly tells you about the career opportunities for individual sections. So I hope you got a brief introduction of what design verification is. I will now hand it over to Venkat for question answer sessions. So you can type in your questions in the question section and we'll try to answer between Venkat and I will try to answer your questions.
So, hi guys, Prasad again. Venkat will be joining us very shortly. He's stuck with some other meeting and he will be there in a while. And meanwhile, I will take you through a few more things which came as questions. And I told that I will be covering that in detail in the upcoming slides. So, there are few answers you will find which you have put it in the question box. So quickly we will go there. Probably we will go directly there because few are already covered by Bhanu, and few we will do that now. And hope the screen is visible to everyone there. And I'm just taking it into a full screen mode so that everyone can see it properly. So about Chipage, Chipage has started its operations in 2012. Chipage is more than 10 years young company, and this was founded and managed by industry professionals with a cumulative experience of 85 plus years in the industry. And Chipage has trained more than 3,500 students till now, and we have different course offerings. We train the people for various VLSI courses uh, in both analog and digital domains. And strong, we also have a strong industry collaboration, which keeps our project more relevant to the industry. And we have a different models of training, and this is all about Chipage. Yes, apart from that, we are preferred partner for Synopsys tools, and there is a VPN access, lab access we provide to the various people and the corporates on 24/7 accessibility basis. So, what we offer, probably everyone can see what we offer in digital flow and what we offer in analog flow. And uh, today's course, that is about which Bhanu has spoken to you till now, that is about design verification, physical design, design for testability, synthesis sign of STA, and RTL design verification. So many courses that we offer. We offer courses in various modes. Similarly, uh, what are these modes? Now, our segments, whom we cater. So one is the fresher and the working professionals. For freshers, in freshers, again, we have two subcategories. One is people who have completed their engineering and just now or a year before and planning to make a career in VLSI, and the students who have complete or who have come to the fifth semester onwards. Mm, these are for students. One is for fresher, one is for students. These are two parts in the fresher itself. Second one is working professionals who are currently working in various industries who want to make a career shift to the VLSI. I answered few questions there in the question box in this regard, and many people have put some questions there. I would like to answer them now. Uh, some people have said that I have completed in 2012 or 2014. I answered probably, if I recollect properly, it is to Mr. Raghavendra. Uh, yes, everyone will have an opportunity, but yes, Chipage is basically enable you to face the training face the interviews more confidently. Yes, at the end of the day, you will have to deliver at the time of interview. We will not play any role between the employer and you, but yes, we will work as a bridge between you. So, working professionals who want to switch over, sometimes they might feel that okay, the salary is lesser than what I am getting now. So, those people really need to think about the career progression, which Bhanu has shown just few minutes back. How the salaries in VLSI grow over with the years of experience in the field. So that is really very rapid. So, but again, might not be for everyone, but you will have to prove yourself every now and then with your skills there, skills and abilities. So then we also these are three categories which I covered. One is students, one is freshers, and third one is working professionals. Now the fourth one I am trying to cover is corporates, where many companies reach out to us to train the people whom they hire as freshers. Usually these will be the campus recruitments. They reach out to us to train their employees on various customized requirements because they have specific projects in hand for which they have hired, and we need to train them in accordance to that. So these are tailor-made requirements which we cater, and we cater to various companies in the industries. Uh, Next is educational institutions. Yes, we are approached by various educational institutes such as engineering colleges and MTech colleges to have a specific course program for them where they want uh, to build the students' career much more better and enable them to face interviews much more confidently with proper knowledge. So one thing which I missed out while I was talking about Chipage is Chipage was basically founded to ensure to bridge the gap between the academic knowledge and the industry requirement. So this is one core thing where we will be focused upon, and we also have a tie-up with many educational institutions and many we also are in discussions with many educational institutions as well for these kind of programs nowadays. So how this will happen, I just wanted to show you. Some people have asked me about this. So we have a different batches planned for all the students, especially if this is specifically designed for students and freshers. This will be of 5 months duration. The highlight of these courses is integrated internship. Integrated internship in the sense it is integrated with your course itself. When you take the course, your internship is part of it, and how it works out is the first 4 months you will undergo the training, and next 15 days you will be assigned with a project, and after successful completion of the project and assessments, after meeting the qualifying criteria, you will be given issued with a certificate of completion of training from Chipage. This is first advantage that you will get, and the another one will be there for next 15 days. That would be the internship project where you will be completing that internship project, and you will get a internship letter for 5 months of course duration, which you can provide it to your colleges in case they demand. So this is the specific course which we have designed for students and freshers, uh, and there are many other courses which will be there. These are the upcoming courses. We have a calendar prepared for the courses, and we have many more courses coming up for students and freshers. Apart from that, we also have weekend batches there, since most of the people or most of the attendees are from the student and the fresher background. I wanted to cover more on this, so I am talking on this. So the specific highlights of this course is: one is the integrated internship, as I said. Second is industry trainers who are uh, uh, working in the industry for 10 years or more, will train the students so that their knowledge should be in par with industry requirements. And this will happen every Sunday, and they will cover it from 9:30 in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, with one break in between. Then we also have live lab sessions. Uh, this will be there in the 3 days, and we have intentionally kept it in the evening hour from 5:30 to 6:30, because especially for the student community, they can attend their classes and free up themselves and focus on the lab sessions, because whatever that you learn in the theory, it is equally important that you have the working experience or hands-on experience on that. Then we also have, before this, we have a question and answers live session, where the instructors will clear your questions. If you have any doubts in the previous session where you have practiced on the lab and you have come across some issues which you want to put it across, you can ask those questions, and those doubts will be cleared from 5 o'clock to 5:30 p.m. For 5 days of the week. And then the last thing that I wanted to highlight here is the lab access timings, which is for 2 hours every day from 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening. 5 days a week, entire weekdays, you will be able to practice what you have studied as a theory there, and this itself will give a lot of advantage of hands-on experience. So you will be able to understand how to use the tools, how to complete your projects. Now we were talking about the placement assistance, and we know that VLSI courses are little costlier in nature because of the tool costs, which are very high. So the cost of the training will be little more. So we value that you have invested your money, time, to get yourself skilled and get into the VLSI industry. So what we do, we to enable you to face the interviews more better, we also train you on the soft skill training, and we also conduct mock interviews during your training period. This will be done by the leading corporate soft skill trainers for soft skill and senior industry professionals who are actually conducting interviews in their respective organization. Those people will come and conduct the mock interviews for you, so that it will make you industry ready. Now, about placement assistance, I wanted to add one more thing. There are many companies in India who always reach out to us for their employee requirements, because they trust that the Chipage training is suits their requirement. And what we do is we support our learners to apply for those jobs with giving complete details of the job description, and then the companies will directly interact with candidates, and they will check their suitability, and then they offer. There are as on date, we have tie-ups with more than 100 companies in India for VLSI requirements. They are from various geographies of India, and we provide them the candidates based on their performance. So how this integrated internship works, I have already briefed about it. First 4 months you will learn the concepts well, and then it is time for you to execute what you learned. and show the skills that whether you understood the concept well or not. Though you will be practicing in the lab, you will be assigned with the projects in the phase two. First one is learning. 4 months you will learn and you will do the hands-on labs. Phase two is application. One project will be assigned, and the first project will be the part of your course itself, where you will complete that project, and basis that project completion and your attendance and your performance in the assignments, you will be certified. So second project will be the part of your internship, and please note that there is no extra charges for your internships. These internships are absolutely free, and internship letter will be provided to every student who has enrolled for the course, because it is an integrated internship. It is the part of your course. We are not charging you anything extra there for internship, nor we are paying anything as well. Let me be very clear on that. So this will be the clear-cut internship, and these projects are designed in such a way that with a lot of inputs from the industry experts, so that after doing this project, your knowledge should or your skill should enhance to the extent that it should give you the confidence to face your interviews much more better. So how the training happens? As I said, after every topic, the hands-on session will be there, and we use synopsis tools, uh, which is industry leader, and we also provide the trainer support and the lab assistance, and we also provide there will be WhatsApp groups and the email tech groups, where you will be able to post your queries and get the clarity as well, in case you have any issue, because you will be practicing it after 6:30 post office hours. Sometimes the trainers might not be available, but you can always post your questions, and the trainers will be responding to you in the first available opportunity. And every session is recorded, and you can view at a later time as well, because sometimes what will happen is, for students, they might be having some internal exams or the semester exams in between, and they need some time to prepare, and the evening hours they want to dedicate that time for preparation of their semester exam, because they are also they are more important from the engineering completion point of view. For them, what the support that we are giving is all the sessions that you will be assigned with, or which you have opted for. You will have the recordings of these courses. These course recordings will be available, and after your exams, you can go through those recordings at after your exams and go through those details. And anyways, you will have the doubt clearance session on all the 5 working days of the week. You can post your doubts to the trainer, and get those doubts clarified as well. So this is the one advantage, since all the sessions are online. uh, these are all recorded as well. You can go through those sessions, and you many of the other learners who are in the same batch might have posed the questions which were there in your mind. Those will also reflect there. So you will be able to understand much more better. There is no need to worry that you have missed a session there. So due to your exams, and for freshers, they might have missed it because they might be traveling, or there might be some family function, or any personal reasons for which they might have missed out. They will also have the same facility to have the access to the recorded content, and they can go to the recordings and get themselves prepared and get themselves in line with the current session that is happening. So trainers with 10 plus years of experience, these are the course highlight. And in industry and academia, we use the synopsis tools, who are market leaders. And course is designed by experts. These experts, few of the experts are even having more than 20 years of experience, and they are at a very high level in the industry, who are helping us to design the courses for you, so that the relevant content reaches to you and enable you to prepare well. And 70% of the course time is on lab, and this will enable you to have that hands-on learning experience. And we also provide the placement assistance, as we have a tie-up with many of the leading VLSI companies of India. So, as I said, we are using Synopsys tools. How it works in the physical design, the details are given here. Same is the case with DFT and RTL design and verification. So, I will not take much time of yours here, and details are already visible on your screen. Hope that gives you enough clarity on that. Now, certification. We will provide the certification who met the course completion criteria. As I said earlier, this will include attendance, completing assignments, and final written test, and the final project assessment. Why this is required is we don't want to give certification because Chipage certification has good value in the market. Industry people trust our certification, so we want our students to go through everything and get themselves qualified for that and get those things clear. And more than 99% of the people will be able to close the certification in the first attempt itself. So that shouldn't be an issue because it just needs the pure attention and execution and your involvement in the training that will enable you to get through the certification very easily. And grade will there will be different grades provided basis the scores that come as a final scores basis your attendance, completing assignments, which we usually don't share it to the hiring companies unless and until they ask for it. If they ask, we share it to them because they have hired through us. We need to provide those details. Some of the companies ask, some of the companies don't ask that. And the third highlight is the internship letter from the Chipage Technologies will be issued to the learners who complete the internship projects. It is if somebody doesn't complete the internship project, they will not be issued with the internship letter as well. This will be the issued to the people who have completed the project in the internship. So only those people will be eligible to have the internship letter. Who can join? Got a lot of queries on this. One is BE, BTech guys from electronics and communication background and electrical and electronics or instrumentation telecom who are either in the pre-final year that is fifth and sixth sem or in the final year that is seventh and eighth sem. Those can opt for this course and the freshers as well. MTech students who are with a specialization like VLSI, embedded or power electronics, communication, instrumentation, etc., who are in their either first or second year of MTech. And as I said, fresh graduates can also go for this course. And MSc Electronics final year students or freshers can also apply because few of the companies have also included apart from BTech and BE guys, they are including MSc Electronics guys nowadays, so they can also opt for this. So that brings us to the closure of this. Uh, you can post your questions in the question section, and I will just wanted to clarify a few details for Mr. Raghavendra, who posted question few minutes back about he comes from an educational background and yes, you can. Many of them have got placed, but yes, I said that as I said earlier, it also depends on the company hiring company criteria. They have either age restrictions or the year of pass out restrictions. Wherever these restrictions are allowed, they can always have that opportunity and they can apply themselves. Hopefully, I have answered that. Now, request you to post your questions in the question section, and I will hand over the access now to Mr. Venkat, who has joined us now, who is founder of Chipage. Uh,
Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
Prasad, there no need to send the access to me. Friends, maybe you can post the questions. Whoever has still further questions, I will answer one by one. I hope you have gone through the the technical DV session. Now let me go through the questions one by one. So Vineet Jaiswal. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen so that you can also see the Vineet Jaiswal. Can you please tell whether to go for Masters in Electronics or join the training institute? What is the difference in both, and please explain. Good question. I think this is a very good question. So there are students I have seen students. There are candidates who joined our courses after BTech. Many people after MTech, after a year or two or a couple of years. There are candidates who joined in immediately after BTech, just completed and joined. I've seen candidates in in semesters also. So the best advice is masters. Yes, if you want masters, and do it in a good institution. Let's say if it is in India, let's talk about India. If you want to do masters, better do a GATE, write a GATE, get a good score, join in premium institutes, IITs, NITs, IIIs, wherever there is a VLSI is strong, there are campus placements. So that's a tier 1. Tier 2 includes maybe VIT or BITS or Manipal or whichever. Second, tier 2 or tier 3. I mean, wherever the point is, if you join some place after doing MTech, you should get a core placement, a core domain, VLSI job from the campus. So then only join. If you get a college, if you get a good score and get a college which has a campus VLSI placements, up to that college you can join. Otherwise, what would happen? Let's say you join some college which doesn't have a VLSI placements, no core companies coming, and no core companies coming means maybe you're not that college is not very popular, no premium institute. Then again, what you do, you end up again in coming to. Then you need to learn again, and you need to join in a training institute, and through us you will get the placements and go to the industry. So to summarize, if you can get a good score and join any of the premium institutes, premium colleges, yes, go for it, provided you are particular about masters. But the point is, you will come to whether you are a BTech or MTech, you will come and do the same job. So let's say the option is, let's say through your campus in a BTech, or you get a VLSI job from campus or outside the campus, or let's say through training institute. So let's say your friend has joined MTech, in some either premium or non-premium. By the time he completes, you are 2 years experienced. That 2 years counts a lot. 2 years experience in VLSI has a big difference. So, but branded, institute has its definitely a value. IITs, NITs, and all of that. If you can get there, even VIT has a good name, and you get campus placements, campus internships. All the premier institutes with a GATE, you get an internship, and internship will lead to a permanent job if you do well. But typically not a full-time, that's how typically companies are hiring. I hope I have answered that. I'm MTech from NIT Kurukshetra, Vinod Rohila, but I don't see the question. Currently, front-end jobs are more or back-end jobs are more? Industry is not using front-end and back-end much these days. It's only design or implementation. Design means design and design and verification are one stream. Fabrication related, implementation is fabrication related. There are jobs in every domain. Every domain means whole chip requires different specializations. Out of all jobs that verification and physical design has a more number of jobs. Design verification, RTL verification or design verification, which is the topic today, and physical design. These two have a highest jobs compared to design for test, compared to analog layout, compared to any other specialization. Highest jobs, design verification and physical design, are having. But front end and back end, that is a 10 years old terminology. People are not using that terminology anymore. Whether it is a design verification, nowadays that boundaries have vanished. Vinay Jaiswal again, why we need IP? So it is not why we need IP. It is a kind of what IP means in VLSI. Perhaps if you rephrase a question, what IP means in VLSI, right? Let's say anything existing, any existing design. Let's say Broadcom is specialized for Wi-Fi chip, Bluetooth chips. So if somebody needs Wi-Fi chip, Wi-Fi feature chip, it is a separate, it's a separate, let's call chip. Then there's no need to design every time if you need a Wi-Fi feature in your thing. Let's say Broadcom sells Wi-Fi chip or a IP, and you integrate into your Snapdragon. There's no need of designing from scratch. Let's say ARM processor. ARM processor is an IP, and CPU, GPU, the CPU, the processor is an IP. Then some people design memories. They are IPs. So IP is nothing but already designed. You want to reuse it. It's called IP, intellectual property. So what ARM business is, sell the processors, their ARM processor, to all the whoever want to use their processor, their core, ARM architecture, their core, to who want to build CPUs and all of that. Let's say similarly memory, similarly many IPs. It's called IP. So let's say nowadays nobody is doing, let's say, Qualcomm Snapdragon 5G. Let's say 5G chips they are releasing, right? They don't design everything from scratch. Only few features, 4G to 5G technology, that related transmitter, receiver, those signals will be added. And since now you will be handling lot of data, how do you process that data? How do you store that data? That things they will upgrade in the 4G mobile. And then that's it. Wi-Fi chip, Bluetooth chip, camera interface, memory interface, memory module, or the other things won't change. So and they will quickly assemble whatever needs an upgrade. They will only design that, and then they only design that and integrate it. So even RTL design nowadays, very little designing is done even by core designers. So it's only integration and testing. That is the reason more verification, design verification jobs are available, because you keep integrating many modules, many IPs, free existing cores or IPs, and hence a lot of testing or verification is needed. That's why more verification jobs are available. And more physical design jobs also, because every design has to go through the foundry technology. Now keep posting whatever I am coming through one by one. Why VLSI salary is less than software engineer salary? No, I am hearing this, I don't know what is the basis, Ajay, for Ajay Kumar. No, it is not, typically I haven't seen VLSI salaries less, but if you are talking about entry level, let's say, hiring entry level, let's say you are a fresher, you got an offer, and that offer is little less than the software offer in compared to that, then yes, maybe initially, right, since VLSI requires a lot of training for 6 months, entry level for companies, you are same as a software engineer. Because you are not, if you learned in the campus, on day one onwards, if you are ready to produce, ready to work on a project, then they don't mind considering you a better salary, giving you a better salary. But initially, up to 2 to 3 years, your salaries will be more or less same as software engineers. After 3 years onwards, And also every VLSI company typically has a bond also, because they invest in training for you, and hence the salaries first 2 to 3 years will be invested in learning, and your salaries will be more or less same as software engineers, but your salary growth or increase or difference you will see after third year onwards. After third year onwards, you will see significant difference in VLSI salaries versus software salaries. Saji, difference between RTL design and design verification, right? I think the two things, right? First, RTL design is nothing but design, core design, using Verilog or system Verilog. You are designing, you are coding, you are designing a blocks, you are designing the for a particular application. Verification is nothing but testing. Let's say we have designed a 5G chip, 5G, let's say Snapdragon 5G, and you put different modules, 5G transmitter, 5G receiver, and then the processor which can handle 5G data and all of that. So you designed and coded in Verilog, let's say. Now, whether whatever you have designed, is it working? Is it receiving 5G signals properly or not? And is it converting analog to digital signals properly or not? And is it processing signal? Is it storing, computing? Is it processing properly? Is it storing properly or not? Somebody has to test. And hence, design verification engineers. Let's say verification engineers are nothing but, in a software, you will see testing engineers in software terminology, manual testing and automation testing. So so it's not design verification is verifying the design, testing the design for functionality. So both are needed. Both are two different teams. Both work together. One team designs, another team verifies or tests the design. If they found a bug, they will inform RTL design team saying that, hey, there is a bug. And they will fix the bug in the RTL in the Verilog code, and Verilog or system Verilog. Nowadays, people are using system Verilog. And then updated version RTL design team will release. Then verification engineers again test it. So this iterative testing and bug fixing, testing, design, and updating the new code, new features, and again testing or verification is an iterative process which will run for months. And hence, more testing jobs are there. Typically, more testing engineers are needed compared to design, because less of design work, only integration work. And in the market also, more design verification engineers, less of RTL design engineers. And RTL design is a cream job, but typically nowadays that cream job where you architect something, you code, that is a, mostly it is a tool-driven job where you do linting, you do clockgram, tool-driven job you will be doing. So more verification jobs are available in the market, in India particularly. Or in India or US, it's the same. I'm confused. Now, what is the difference between, I think, ignore CTC, what is the difference in career path? Career path, as I said, compared to software engineers and hardware VLSI engineer, VLSI engineers, because VLSI engineers works on products. Let's say, ultimately, whichever company you work with, Intel, you work with Qualcomm, Samsung, MediaTek, or Broadcom, or any of these companies, right? So these are products, and they go into product. Let's say you work on a Snapdragon, you work with some company, and let's say a service company who works with Qualcomm, and they send you to Qualcomm project, service companies. Or you're a Qualcomm employee. Then for Qualcomm, Snapdragon is a product, and they sell to all mobile manufacturers. Hence, it's a product, and their revenues will be very high by selling the Snapdragon process for all mobile manufacturers. Since they get better revenue, they invest more in a smart people by saying better salaries, and they purchase costly VLSI tools from Synopsys, Cadence, and Mentor Graphics. So their costs are salaries, their costs are tool cost. Since it's a product for a worldwide market, and the salaries they pay are very high compared to software engineers, and it's not sometimes 2 times 3 times high compared to software engineers. So you might have seen. Okay, some I have Nandan, VLSI coding, and I can write basic codes. How can I relate Verilog with VLSI? This session, now I got some idea that Verilog coding used in DV. Design verification, is it? See, Verilog is system Verilog is a next version, graded language or next version of language. Let's say when you are designing, you code in Verilog. Verilog is used for testing also, for verification. So in other words, Verilog is used for designing or coding for designing and verification both. It's the same language, but the constructs used for verification are different than design. Sometimes, let's say, in verification, you need $display because you want to initial block, display block, and all of that. Display means you want to monitor the results, but you don't use it when designing. You don't use it in that language constructs for designing. So in other words, Verilog is used in design and verification, and both are part of VLSI. VLSI is not outside this. VLSI includes Verilog. Karthik D, what is formal verification? I think very nice. Both are same. Now, formal verification, that's good. Good question. Design verification design verification tests for functionality, functional testing, for which the chip is designed. Formal verification, and there is a equivalent checking. The formal verification, there is a equivalent checking also. That includes, there are two aspects there. One is equivalent checking, this interchangeably used. That check will the equivalence between two. Equivalence checking checks the equivalence between two different circuits. If you between two different RTL designs, if you want to check whether both are same, that's called equivalence checking. And in I think in formal verification there are other flavors also. I think which I am not sure. So I think I answered some of the questions. I will go to any answered thing. Vinod Rohila, I have 8 years of experience in a core electrical domain. Now I want move in this industry. Is it possible for me to switch now? I want to switch to physical design. Yes, very much possible. We have a professional courses for people like you who have experience, and the classwork, live classes happens on the weekend. You can check it out on the website. It is pretty much possible. In the last 10 years, we have helped many thousands of engineers to switch their domain from non-VLSI to VLSI. Ganesh Kumar, I am studying 4th year BTech ECE. Any internship opportunity is there? So we only are offering a course with integrated internship. Only internship we don't have. And typically service companies don't offer internships. Service companies means, let's say Intel, Qualcomm, Broadcom, AMD, Samsung, Google. These are the Broadcom, NVIDIA, Analog Devices, Synopsys, Cadence. These are product companies or MNC companies. They typically go to IITs, NITs, VITs, certain things, and take interns. Sometimes the Manipal in local BMS, RV, Amrita, PSG. It depends. There's a list of colleges, university colleges, etc. I don't know all the list. So these product companies or MNC companies goes there for to hire as an internship, and if they found to be good after 6 months of internship, 4 months or 6 months, then they regularize into full-time role. So however, they're tier 3, tier 4, non-premium, they call premium institutes, tier 3, tier 4 colleges, these companies, big companies are not going. And so if you get internship, either you get there into premium, if you are from a premium college, yes, you can get to there through the college. Outside, it's not easy to get. Remaining are service companies, and service companies don't offer internships. Service companies includes Wipro, Infosys, TCS, L&T, LTTS, HCL, Capgemini, Tech Mahindra. So these are all the different service companies. There are many other. These are popular and big IT, and they are also VLSI, Wipro. So they don't provide any internships. They hire the freshers from campus. Varun Singh, how can I join as a trainer? I have experience digital ASIC design. Yeah, please do send. Generally, we take people with industry experience. Till when we can access the course after course completion? Typically, I think we give 1 year access. I think that's also answered. So I think I have answered. I don't have any new questions. Sir, can we first do training and then go for masters in electronics and VLSI? Can we first do training? See, training is nothing but learning certain skill. Not necessary that you should go for a job after that, right? Anytime you want to learn certain thing, you join whichever. Let's say you want to learn AI or data science or whatever, you learn. I mean, not necessary that you should go for a job in that. You learn just for a learning sake. So, and if you still want to pursue masters within India, outside India, yes, obviously, provided it's a premier institute, which there is a value in putting your 2 years time there, 2 years money and time, or maybe may not be money if it is, at least your 2 years valuable time is more important. If it is a value, otherwise, again, you end up and, come to the same normal job, or again, come to the training organization to do a course and get a job. Tallepalle Ajay Kumar, is there any course available for processor developer in VLSI? No, that is not easy. Processor, and what are the courses and which institute provides that courses? No, it's not easy. So even if you say the Qualcomm or which develops Snapdragon processor, Intel which develops the i7, i9 processors, or Xeon server processors, or MediaTek which designs mobile processors, NVIDIA graphics processors, even for they go to an IITs and NITs and get a core, fresher, the solid engineers, there's no course as such. I mean, there is no directly give a processor development. Of course, they work on a processors, and if you can get into any of those companies directly or indirectly later, yes, there's no such course. All you need to join that companies are a strong conceptual knowledge. So there's no course to process develop the processors. Fee structure and all that, I will leave that to Prasad can help on that. Any other? Let me go to chats and see if there are any questions there. I preferably please post the questions in a question section. Please post in a question section, and I am currently looking at chats because some people have posted here. I need to clarify that research were going in Intel, Qualcomm, Apple with chip. Okay, so research in India, it's only, even Intel R&D, AMD R&D, ARM R&D, Cadence R&D, Synopsys R&D, these are all R&D. They develop new chips, not existing chips. They develop new tools or improvement in tools. So the core high-end R&D, high-end research typically happens in US and all that. Here, chip development happens, end-to-end chip development happens in India. Typical core research happens in US universities, Stanford or Harvard. Stanford, MIT, certain Berkeley, some research, and Intel invests in certain research labs also. Intel does invest in research, but in India, they work on high-end and next-generation chips, which is a research job, but not just you publish paper and all of that. You need to produce a chip, a product, not just a research paper. So all companies in India does work on cutting edge latest chips, latest products, and all companies, including Apple, Intel, Qualcomm, latest chips, 5G, and for related for this one. Prasad, you may need to answer the question on fees. I will leave it to you after some time after answering the other questions. Is there any plan to provide a PD course within a month? I don't know which PD course, Ajay, you are referring to. There is one student course is coming up in 19th or 16th Jan. That is for student courses or fresher course. Working professionals course is there scheduled for Feb. That's the earliest. I want to know, Bipul Kumar, I want to know average student is going for training is better option. I think in VLSI, right? I mean, you don't need to be super smart, super smart or extraordinary. Average is good enough. What is needed is right attitude to learn, to put hard work, and this is enough. Nowadays, attitude is very important for companies. They look for, are you interested to learn? Are you ready to do hard work? Are you open for learning? This is what any company will look for. Even average is enough because it is not a rocket science. Smart work is done by the tools. So engineer's role is to understand how to use the tools. So average is good enough. But attitude to learn and hard work is important. Vinod Rohila, only electrical engineers are eligible or not? Yeah, electrical, yes, EEE or electrical. I mean, some electronics is needed. Some electrons, even electrical engineers will know transistor, will know what is electronics device and circuits, will know digital. If you know what is a transistor and what are gates and digital electronics, that is good enough for eligibility for VLSI course. Even if you don't know, then you can still learn. That is not a problem. I have seen, we have helped people with the computer science joining a VLSI. All you need is a passion to learn something. Recently I got to know through somebody, this guy is passionate about engineer, but his parents want in a MBBS. So he got a rank in MBBS, he completed, and recently he switched to software now. He is still practicing medicine part-time in online mode, and he joined a software job recently. So he is doing both now. So nothing is impossible or still late. It is still too possible to pursue the passion even if you are a computer science engineer. I know people who are in a chemical, I know who are people in a BCom became a VLSI engineer. I know people who are chemical engineers become VLSI engineers, but a little bit of support is needed. What is the difference between IP and subsystem and SOC? IP, subsystem, yeah, kind of IP and subsystem are similar, you can say, but SOC is a big picture, right? Let's say Snapdragon is SOC, system on chip.
I think most of the questions we have covered.
Within that has a bunch of IPs or subsystems.
Lokesh,
Either you call IP or subsystems. Different companies have a different terminologies. Nandan, I think I already answered. Any other questions? Raghav, please help me if I have any other questions not answered. Lokesh. See, what may be the salary in Qualcomm or Intel after 5 years? That salaries are good. Typically, I think, let me give you that formula now. So you calculate, typically X, 4X, 5X, typically, let's say 5 years, the number of lakhs, 5 into 4X, 4X means 4 lakhs into 5, 20 lakhs. But 20 lakhs in Intel Qualcomm is less after 5 years. It will be more. It will be initial itself. That is applicable for service companies and more. So the formulas have changed because of demand. Now the X is increased. So you discuss with your friends or anyone. Is it good to switch after 8.5? It is possible. I know people who have switched to VLSI. We know Drohil, is it possible to switch after 8.5 years of experience in electrical domain? Yes, switch for growth. Otherwise, you will be stay there only and you will have a same salary. But if you switch, you will have a growth for the same hard work. Okay, so any more questions?
No, sir, we have covered most of them.
Any other questions, Raghav? So is it good to switch after? I think I answered. Then yeah, how can enter R&D high-end USA? So if you want to enter high-end, see same R&D, right? Intel, same companies. See same Intel, Qualcomm, Cadence, Synopsys, same companies which are there in Bangalore will be there in US also. If you want to enter, maybe you do a master's in good universities in US, and from there you get an internship opportunity. Same internship here or there, again internship only. There you get an internship. If you like the internship, you can pursue there, and if they like you, they will make an offer. If you like, you can continue. If not, you can join some other company. So it's a mutual decision to join and continue to join. Yes, same route, but definitely the US same company, same work will be there. But the US, your job will become much easy if you do in a premier university. That's from Lokesh. With that, I think, we are already reached the, briefly, I think it's already 8. No?
Yeah, many people who have inquired about the fee structure. So
I
just
can
wanted
stop
to
sharing, but
tell
control
few
is
things.
not needed.
You
You
can
can just
always
need to
reach
answer.
out to us.
Just answer it. Control is not needed to
visit
share.
our website
Transfer now.
and you can reach out to us as well. And probably you will be able to see my screen in a while. You can even walk into our office as well. One is our office is located in 7th sector of HSR layout, Bangalore. And for course details, you can always reach out to our learning advisors at 844-844-8839. These numbers are also available on our website at www.chipage.com. So please log into the website. Currently, we are having offers for the students and freshers. That pop-up will be there for 40% of discount. These are merit-based discounts. For every student who is enrolling will undergo a test, and also the trainer will assess his trainability. Basis those scores, the discount will be offered, and these discounts can go up to 40% of that. And the learning advisors will support you with a fee details and coordinate with you on tests and the trainer's interview. So probably I have answered the query about the fees. Fees details will be briefed to you by the learning advisors. So please reach out to them. They are there to help you out. Or you can also reach to them through call or WhatsApp, or even you can chat. So the learning advisors will help you out on that, and they will take your candidature further. Any other thing that anybody wanted to know? Which is the best course of some already working in USA but want to join semiconductor company? Many of our learners are from USA as well. They have opted for some courses, and yeah, it is up to 40% discount, Sudarshan. Naveen, many of our learners are from US. They are into our regular students and fresher courses. Some are on self-learning courses, and some are on our weekend courses as well. So the geography is not an issue as we have all the all the courses online.
See, I think on the fees, right? On the fees, I think our full-time 5 months course was always at a 1 lakh rupees.
Thanks
Generally, 5 months
for that
course is at 1
clarification.
lakh, and at a 40% discount, it comes at 60,000. Whoever gets the merit and as the technically clears the interviews, and it's up to 40%, then you will get up to the fees will be up to 60,000. So the subject to you clear the written tests and interviews, it's and you qualify for that. Okay. Unless there are any questions, maybe we can, I think we can close. There is some question came. Let me see whoever it is. Doing PhD in VLSI in top universities will get R&D, sir. Doing PhD in VLSI in top universities in USA. Of course, you see, PhD in US obviously if you do PhD in US universities, obviously the standard and rating is not necessarily very top. Even if you do in a reasonably good university, you will get a job there. That is, you can get into VLSI industry is very small, and if you are reasonably good, you can do it. But the PhD itself will take 4 or 5 years. PhD in US is not easy. And why you are doing PhD? If you want a job, pursuing a PhD is not required. So you need to know what is the purpose of PhD. You want to really do a research? Maybe yes, yeah, you can pursue a PhD. But are you prepared for 4 to 5 years? Of course, the good thing in US is you are paid. You are working for the what is that fellowship or assistantship kind of a research. Then you are taken care, your finances are taken care. Then if you get that option, yes, you can do it. But 4 or 5 years, we should be prepared. And then you can, depending on the quality and depth of your research, you can get into depending on what area you have done research, you can get into that kind of companies. Of course, at a much higher salary, better salary and much higher salary. Obviously, quality research has a value. PhD in US has a value. Quality research quality PhDs in US obviously has a much value. Whichever area it is, whether it is VLSI or AI or ML or any area, which quality PhD has always a value. Okay, so I think we can wait a minute. Karthik, why most of the service companies recruit old pass outs like 2018 or 19? Good question from Karthik. The reason is service companies supplies engineers to product or MNC product companies, and they ask for typically a fresher. If you say fresher, sometimes they say I need some experienced persons, and hence some companies will take a little earlier pass out and will train them very well, and 2000 earlier pass out, not 2022 or whatever, 2021, 2019, and they train them, groom them for that customer requirement and send them. That is why some companies, not all companies. Okay, so I think we are done, Prasad. When is the exams and interview conducted? I think exam is online and interview is immediately. Immediately means same day or next day as per the trainer's availability. I think the other thing compared to some institutes, and we do not compromise on quality. We do not give seat just like that for everyone who want to join. So we do not give that. We are very particular about our quality, and hence written test and interview is a must for us. Your communication skills, your suitability for VLSI course. Tomorrow, the reason is, if you are not suitable, because companies expect certain communication skills, certain aptitude, certain conceptual VLSI knowledge, and certain technical knowledge of VLSI they expect. If you are not there, then they will reject you. So there's no point if you are not suitable, tomorrow rejecting you and you don't get job in any of the companies, and then your money get wasted and time get wasted. So we don't want to see that. So upfront we will see whether you are suitable for VLSI field or not. Then you are not suitable, then we will say, sorry, we can't give you admission. And that is the reason we are conducting written test and interview. And in fact, all companies hiring includes written test and interview. And so upfront, you will come to know whether you are suitable to VLSI or not. If we give admission means, we will see whether you are suitable or not. If you are suitable only, we'll give admission. There are people, generally we reject also to many times. Reason is many people can't even speak English. If you can't even speak English, and then you can't understand, tomorrow you can't clear the interviews. So hence, it is not good for you because you put your time, you put your money.
Thank you,
there is no
Venkat.
point into. So, and if you do well,
thanks for that. And with this, we will conclude. Before we conclude, there are few polls where many of you have already responded. Request you to respond.
No, I think we already
how did you feel about
the fees? Up to
current
60,000.
current webinar?
In rare cases, could
that
be
poll
less,
is
a little
also
more,
live.
less also. That depends on your merit and talent.
We also post few more questions.
Okay,
there.
so Prasad,
So request you to how did you come to know about the webinar? So request you to help us out with the input so that that will help us to reach out more and more people, and we will try to support them in the best way possible from the Chipage end. So with these words, team, we will conclude, and I would I am thankful to each and every one of you. Yes, Venkat. We did it in the early stage of the uh, webinar itself. So I would like to thank each one of you for spending the time out, and I would a special mention to Bhanu ma'am. Bhanu has been it's been a wonderful session having you with us here in this session, Bhanu. Thanks a lot for that, and Venkat, thanks a lot for patiently answering all the queries.
What status they are, they have completed,
and making
okay,
clearing the doubts of the
okay,
learners and the people who are attending the webinar more clear. Thank you so much, and thank you for each participant who have been the part of this webinar. Look forward to see you in the next webinar very shortly, and we will share the details again on various media as we reach out to you. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful evening and a wonderful year ahead. Thank you so much.